Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson joins us live on SportsCenter, fresh off the practice field. You didn't even take your pads off, Russell. Nice.
You know, you haven't given me enough time, Michelle. It's been fun, though. We had a great practice today. It's been a blessing, yeah.
Well, that's good. You know, we want to be efficient here. Straight from the field to SportsCenter. Listen, back-to-back Super Bowl appearances. I got to ask you, what's the biggest thing that you're working on in training camp this year?
Well, just being consistent every day. You know, that's the biggest thing. You know, when you get to this level, the teams that can get to the playoffs, the teams that can, you know, have a chance to get to the Super Bowl and all that, you have to be consistent. And it starts with practice. It starts with the way we prepare. You know, we've got about almost 100 guys out here, you know, today, and we're all fighting for a job, and we're all fighting for the opportunity. We're all fighting for a win. We're all fighting for opportunity to play in the playoffs and more. So that's what it's about.
And you've got some new faces to work with this year. Plenty of excitement about Jimmy Graham. How are you establishing a connection with him as a new target?
Well, you know, it's the pre-work before practice starts, the post-work after practice ends, you know, and then it's the in-between. It's the stuff in the film room. It's the stuff where you talk about on and off the field. We have a great relationship off the field, too. And all the guys really love him, respect him for how he plays and how he works. And he's a great friend to so many guys already, which he's fit in perfectly. He's a competitor, and you want an ultimate competitor, and that's what he is.
Now, clearly here, Russell, Graham is not your only guy making plays out there. Marshawn Lynch as well. You don't call the plays, but how do you think the split between those guys will go as the season actually gets underway?
Well, you know, you want to have a balanced attack like always. We try to be 50-50, and we try to disperse the ball to the right guy at the right time. That's the biggest thing, you know, and that's what's been the reason for our success so far. You know, we continue to run the football well. We try to be explosive in the passing game, and so it's going to be exciting to add Jimmy to our team. Obviously, you know, arguably got the best running back in the National Football League in Marshawn Lynch, and then the other receivers that we have on the flank, and Doug Baldwin, Jermaine Kearse, Lockett. We have both Locketts now. It's going to be tough, and then Chris Matthews looks unbelievable and big as can be, and is catching the ball extremely well. So it's exciting.
You know, I know that your pockets are a lot heavier these days, or at least those checks are bigger that you're bringing to the bank lately. Has that changed the dynamic with you and the way that you interact with your teammates on this team?
No, not at all. You know, it's one of those things that we're excited. You know, fortunate enough, I get to play here for another 4 years. Bobby Wagner just signed. You know, guys like Bobby Wagner, we get excited for that. You know, it's one of those things it's a family. You know, we all work together, and you know, so my role doesn't change. You know, I just try to continue to be a leader, try to continue to win football games, and that's what playing the quarterback position is about. Finding ways to win, and whatever at all costs. And so ultimately, it comes down to practice. It comes down to the film room. It comes down to the in-between talks with the guys, you know, off the field and in the locker room and stuff. And so, you know, I love it. I love this game so much, you know, and I had the greatest job in the world. I get to play quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, you know, and to be one of 32 men in the world to get to do what I get to do, it's truly a blessing.
You know, you mentioned the run game when you mentioned Marshawn Lynch. Do you feel sometimes that the run game and the defense maybe what you do is a little bit overlooked, doesn't get as much credit, and that maybe the defense and the run game get credited with carrying this team? What do you say to those critics?
No, I don't worry about all that stuff. You know, ultimately, you know, we want to win a lot of football games or whatever it takes, you know. And so, you know, I'm excited about this season. We have a very explosive offense, and we do it a lot of different ways, and it's hard to stop. You know, it's going to be tough for defense to figure out, do you stop Marshawn? Do you try to stop Jimmy? Do you try to stop our receivers on the outside? And then, you know, every once in a while, I'll get to run the ball, too, and try to scramble and make a play, too. So, you know, and then, you know, got to give respect to our defense. You know, they help keep us in games and make big plays for us. And we love those guys to, you know, for me, I think about it. 3 years ago, I came into the league as a rookie, you know, in 2012. And you know, I think about having the opportunity to play against such a tough defense every day. You know, every time I got on the field, it prepared me. It mentally got me ready, and just got me prepared for that. And then you know, back and forth. That's what our goal is: offense and defense. And when we go ones versus ones, it's a battle every day, and it's something special to watch.
And Russell, last question here. I'm going to assume that new contract means that you're not going to be hitting curveballs anytime soon.
You never say never, but I don't think so. You know, Macklemore threw me some curveballs the other day, and Safeco, he had a little production thing. That's probably the only curveball I'll hit anytime soon, but who knows?
You might get some questions that are curveballs, but aside from that, we'll look forward to you on the football field. Russell, thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. Go Hawks.